Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today I'm going to show you guys one of the weirdest crashes you will ever see in this game. Now in other games this crash might be normal, but for BeamNG.drive this is anything but normal. So we got this ordinary looking D-Series, we're going to get it up to about 100 miles per hour, and then we're going to crash it into some rocks. So that's about 100 miles per hour, and those are some rocks. That means time to crash into them. And that is what the crash looks like. So what the heck just happened there? We bounced off of the rocks and we barely have a scratch on the truck. We just have this small dent to the front bumper. Well, I have a mod installed that makes the vehicles indestructible within reason. So the way the mod works, when you spawn up a vehicle, it's completely normal. But if you go into the part selector, there's a new option called additional modification. If you choose indestructible, it will make the vehicle indestructible. Within reason at least. You still can't dent the vehicle as you've seen, and you can still immobilize the vehicle as well by really forcing it to be damaged. For example, if we were to try to pull off the wheel with full node grabber strength, that will cause instability and the game will just freeze, which is basically the same as the vehicle braking. So we got to go back over here, fix up the truck, and let's get something a little bit faster. We're gonna go with a decently fast car. We'll get a Hirochi SBR4, and I got the electric version for maximum fun. We're gonna add in the indestructible additional modification, and just like that we have an indestructible SBR4 that cannot be stopped. Smashing directly into that, and all it looks like is a stunt. We did a stunt, but we landed on our wheels and we can keep on driving. If we tried to do that normally, I'm pretty sure the right wheel would have fallen off on initial impact. That would have definitely done some serious damage. Instead, we just bounce off of it. We bounce off of everything. That is one thing you'll notice. So with the vehicle being indestructible, the energy has to go somewhere. So your car just rebounds off of everything it hits like a bouncy ball. And that's perfectly okay because it makes the crashes really interesting. Because if you can get into a flipping motion, you can really go for a flip. I don't think we're going to flip here. We're staying pretty level. But I will make sure later on we get a jump that really flips us over and shows you just how bouncy the vehicle can be. But even after all of that, look at the front here. We have very, very minor dents. I don't think they affect the drivability much. We might have a little bit of a pull to the right side, but overall it is a little pull and it's completely drivable. That was not even an intentional crash. That we just got caught on a rock, and again, that would normally completely blow out the rear suspension probably. Totally fine, doesn't matter. Keep on driving through the water, doesn't matter. We were just driving wherever the car takes me, because I don't have to worry about whatever obstacle is in my way. Rocks on the side of the road, those are fine. We'll just smash right into them. And there's a little bit of the bounciness of the car. You see it kind of just bouncing around. I think, kind of funnily, it actually helps the vehicle land on its wheels more frequently. So it makes it even harder to stop the vehicle just because you're more likely to keep landing on your wheels and keep driving. You can flip it upside down, as I am demonstrating right now. So this car is still stuck upside down, but you can use the node grabber and flip it upright just like normal, except now you don't have to worry about pulling too hard with the node grabber. You can pull it as hard as you want, within reason, and you'll be fine. If you do 100% strength on the node grabber, as you saw earlier, you can just glitch out the vehicle. So now, let's try to do the jump with the flips and the rolls. So we're just going to go fast and then bump into the dirt and roll. Yes. Okay, so you see, bounce. It bounces into the air, and it's really amusing to watch because it is rolling and spinning so fast. And then, after all that chaos, it's perfectly fine. We can node grabber it upright, and again, it's not just if you grab the wheels and you pull too hard. Like if we grab the center of the roof and really yanked on it, it will glitch out, like so. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch cars. Now this mod does support all of the vehicles that come with the game. So we're going to go with the Charrier FCV, and I want something fast, but I do not want a roll cage. So we're going to get the Vivas S410Q Arsenic. Then we are going to get the concrete retaining wall, and we are going to drop this on the Vivas. And this thing will be absolutely destroyed because this is the regular destructible version of the vehicle. So yeah, it literally cuts through it like butter. We might be able to still drive and get out of here to look at the damage, and you can see the damage is severe. This is a total write-off easily, and it's a shock that it's even able to drive after something like that. Now, we are going to do the exact same thing, but this time I'm going to get the indestructible version. We're going to see just how well does it hold up to this. So here we go, cinder block wall coming down with some slow motion so you can see what happens. It's deforming a bit, but then it rebounds. It's strong, it's elastic, it's rubber, whatever you want to say about it, it's not going to get damaged that easily. Well, it might get damaged a little bit. I see a little bit of damage on the rear door, but that is very, very minimal, and it'll buff right out. And if you're going to drive this, it drives perfectly. The other one, it drove perfectly as well somehow, though, which I don't understand. But this one, it better drive perfectly, right? So now how about a crash? And again, we'll use some slow motion here. We're going to go 16 times slow mo to 120 miles per hour. And again, you see, it really looks like it deforms. And then you look at the front, it's fine. There's no damage on the front, even after crashing into something at 120 miles per hour. Off of the bounce, again, it looks like it deforms a bit, and then it's fine. So that kind of gives you an idea of how the vehicle works. It bends, but it don't break. And it seems like it's frictionless sometimes. Look how easily it's just spinning here. I don't know why it does that. But we'll go ahead and get it back onto its wheels, and then we're going to go straight at the wall at 100 and something miles per hour. And we're going to see what that looks like with some slow motion, but the wall's probably going to fall apart because I spawned it up in the air again. So yeah, we get a fresh wall, and then we're going to crash into it about 125 miles per hour. We got some slow-mo here. A lot of deformation there. That might have actually done some damage to that front wheel. It looks a little messed up. And then the blocks are coming in trying to keep on putting the beating onto my car, but I'm going to drive out of there. And then does it drive straight? Let's see, cinder block off. Yeah, it drives straight. So it looked like the suspension was completely ruined, but it recovered and it's fine. It's really funny like that. It looks so badly beat up, and then 2 seconds later the car comes back. Tis but a scratch. I am fine. So here's a good place to get some air time. Can we get a bounce, or are we going to land in the water? Into the water. A big splash. And here's another way you could actually ruin the vehicle. You'll flood the engine. That is always a possible way to ruin the vehicle, and now it's rolling backwards because of the flow of the water. Ha! Anyways, let's go ahead and reset it, and we're going to try something different. So now we're going to do a crash into a big old T-Series. We're going to get the T75 cement mixer because I want them to be as big and heavy as possible. And they're going to be a completely ordinary T-Series. I'm not going to make them indestructible, but I'm going to make my car indestructible, and it's just going to be a tiny old Ibisu Corvette. Just a small little lightweight economy car, but with the power of being indestructible, it should do well against the T-Series. So the AI is going to be chasing me, and I'm going to be chasing them, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to be going probably close to highway speeds, and so should the T-Series, so this should be pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm going about 20 miles per hour faster than normal highway speeds on impact. T-Series probably going about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So there it is. Again, you see the shake where it looks like I'm going to be damaged, and then I come out fine. But the T-Series, he ain't coming out fine. His whole engine is going to fall out. I crashed into him so hard. Okay, maybe not the engine fall out, but I have definitely ruined the front half of the T-Series, and it looks like they have lost steering. So that is an easy victory for the Corvette. So then we got to answer the question, what if my vehicle was even more lightweight? So we're going to give myself the 600 version of the Ibisu Pigeon, and this is a thing you'd never thought you would see. A fight where an Ibisu Pigeon goes against the T-Series, and you literally are not sure which one is going to win. The speed should be very similar to last time. We just have a lot less weight for the vehicle. So we are going to go about 80 miles per hour on impact, and then here we go, 16 times slow-mo, and that does sometimes happen. When that happens, you can keep trying the crash, and maybe eventually it'll work, but the easiest thing to do is tone it down a little bit. So when that happens, the AI doesn't drive automatically, they should just be sitting there. So now if I start them up right now, it'll make it where the AI is going at a slower speed, so the impact will be less overall, and this should work. So here we go. I'm going faster. They're going slower. Overall impact is smaller. Again, look at the bed of that thing shaking like it's going to fall off, and then it's perfectly fine. Oh, but I am stuck in the T-Series a little bit, and they're going to bully me. Online bullying right here. I am being shoved along smashed into the wall a little bit, but I am so strong, that is not gonna stop me. Can we still drive after that? Yes, we can. And looking at the damage, it has some damage, but the important bits on the suspension, they work great. Steering is perfect. Driving in a straight line perfectly. No complaints from me. So now we're going to hit them in the back. Whoa! Whoa! That was kind of weird and unexpected. I got crushed by them a little bit, but I just bounced out because I'm so strong and durable. That was amazing. All right, so here's the next test. What if we had two indestructible vehicles crashing into each other? What would that do? So we want to make sure they're about equal. So I got a Grand Marshal on this side, and they are going to be indestructible. And then over on my side, I'll go ahead and grab an ETK Series, and we'll get the KC6TX. And I'll make sure I make him indestructible as well. And now, let's see what happens. I'll tell the AI to go ahead and chase after me, and away we go. We should both be going about 100 miles per hour on impact, if not more. So this should be a pretty big impact. I'm going just about 100 miles per hour, and I assume so are they. So the crash, look at them jiggling like jello. But in the end, where's the damage? Just as you'd expect, indestructible vehicles barely get any damage. So I'm going to stop the AI, and we are actually stuck together. So to better look at the damage, I am going to save the vehicle, reset it, and then load up the damage. So that's what it looks like. Barely any damage at all. Now for the next test, I'm going to go ahead and move over to a different map. We're going to go to grid map. And we're going to do something fun here. We're going to get the GTZ version of the Miramar. So this is just a basic vehicle with some minor engine upgrades. It doesn't have a roll cage or anything like that. And we're going to stick it next to the wall and crush it with a much bigger, much stronger vehicle. And we're going to do this in a comparison style. So we'll do two attempts at this. First, with a completely ordinary vehicle. And then second, we'll do it with an indestructible one. And we're going to see what difference does it make. So the vehicle that's going to do the crushing, we need something big. We need something beastly. You know what's big and beastly? The D35 Beast. He's always here when you need him, ready to crush whatever is in front of him. So here we go, hitting the guy at about 60 miles per hour. Here is 16 times slow-mo as he gets crushed between the wall and the truck. And funnily enough, the truck looks almost undamaged. Like it just ran right up, over, and through the Miramar. And the Miramar, well, it's been completely and utterly destroyed. Can it put down the power? Somehow it can, but it's not very good at that. So we're going to say new car, and this time, make it a little bit stronger. Or a whole heck of a lot stronger. It's indestructible. And now, D35 Beast, what can you do? So exact same thing as last time, exact same amount of slow-mo. We use 16 times slow-mo, so here we go, crashing into it. It doesn't deform. You know what does deform? The D35 Beast deforms. That is how strong an indestructible vehicle is. It goes from not having a scratch to looking like it can't even drive anymore, and it's a surprise that it can. In fact, I think it actually has decent steering as well. Let's see. Yeah, it drives perfectly straight, and we can steer it. Well, we could until I did that. As for the Miramar, there is a dent in the door. We could buff that out. That's fine. The other side, let's see. It looks flawless. Even though it's smashed into the wall, it looks flawless. Amazing durability. And just for fun, since we're here, let's bounce it. I love going boing. I don't know why that's so amusing to me, just watching the cars bounce back and forth like that. Actually, what we could do, if we put it to manual mode, and then we can do something really dumb like this. So you reverse it, and then we are going to hit that block, slam it into first gear, and then go forward and bounce in the next one. And then we can just bounce back and forth between them like a pinball. Yeah, this is really dumb, but it is kind of amusing for some reason. Except for over-rev Risk yelling at me non-stop. And after all of that, it doesn't look any more damaged than it was at the start, really. So strong. Now, the thing all of you have been wondering, what happens if we take it to Leap of Death? And the answer is probably going to disappoint you, because it seems like most of the time when you drop a car up a Leap of Death, it's just going to glitch out. So what you got to do is you got to take a gentler path down Leap of Death. So instead of hitting the big jump, we just drop it off the edge here and let it roll from there. And it should be okay most of the time, but it also depends on how it lands. If it lands in an awkward position, it will still glitch out. So we just gotta watch what's it gonna do. That's pretty hard, but it's okay. Engine is broken, but visually it's probably pretty good. You notice it is spinning a ton. I could not have counted how many times it spun without a little bit of slow motion probably. It was spinning that fast. And it looks like it will eventually make its way close to the bottom, maybe all the way. We are going to find out. And you see, even with the massive damage you would normally get from Leap of Death, it doesn't have that much damage. It looks like it was in a fender bender. That's it. And before it hits the water, let's take a good look at the damage. Normally at the bottom of Leap of Death, you don't actually look at the damage, but here we're gonna. So we have a missing headlight, some damage to the front bumper, the front suspension is messed up. But looking at it from the rear, looks pretty much perfect. There's no damage on the rear or most of the sides, just a little bit on some of the front fenders. Very, very strong and durable. So that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, this is WhyBeAre. And remember, if you like or dislike this video, I'll know. I can tell by how strong the indestructible cars are. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time. And this is what happens when you go off the jump. It's probably going to glitch out, but maybe it won't. Let's see. If it didn't glitch out on the very first impact, it'll probably make its way all the way down Leap of Death. So I'll go ahead and let this run out because this is the more traditional angle you would see on Leap of Death, except it is a little bit different because this car is going to bounce like no other. So it might end up in a kind of strange location if it bounces awkwardly to the side or something, just like that. It kind of bounced off to the left like a spring, and we wouldn't normally be in this zone, but here we are. Somehow, weird things can happen. And it's going to get all the way to the bottom, and we'll do the exact same thing we did last time where we freeze the physics right before impact so we could take a better look at it, which should be very, very soon. Maybe one more impact, and there we go. That is the last one. And again, we are going to freeze physics to take a look at the damage. So on this one, it actually has dents pretty much all over the place, but again, it doesn't look that badly damaged. This thing still looks like it could drive if it wasn't for the fact that the engine is broken. Or is it, actually? Is the engine broken? I know it broke last time, but this time I wasn't really paying attention. So we'll save it, load it up back here. Does it drive? No, engine is in fact broken. Anyways, that's the real end for this video. Sorry for the double outro. I didn't expect it to actually survive.